Man, I don't know what is going on. Take 4. I really want to get this message out. I really do. I feel that it's important. If you have found your way across this is the weekend tarot and oracle for November 27th and 28th, 2021, also being timeless. So wherever you're catching in time, this could be really relevant to what's going on in your life. I didn't record for the 26th. I was feeling really under weather on the 25th. So I'm very sorry about that I couldn't be there for you. But here we are now. So if you have questions about booking a private session, reach out in the provided email address. You can see about services, what might be right for you, sales, pricing, and don't forget to include your time zone. All right, let's do this. It's very interesting. Well, this is what I had in the first batch. I have 2 batches here. Temperance came out first. This is a journey. You need to be balanced. You're going to be juggling a lot of things in here, and it's going to make you feel ungrounded and fearful, I think, of either being nurturing, open, vulnerable. There is a point of not really seeing the payoff from the get-go in this, but it seems like you're actually getting in tune with some very deep feelings of yours. I feel like you finally cut yourself out of the tree. You're no longer in the hangman position. But also, I don't feel like you're closed off like the 4 of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is you, by your own efforts, have climbed back on the throne and are allowing this new phase to take place. I don't see clouds in the skies with these cards, so I think that you're actually very clear on what you want to do. It's just a point of getting through, I think, the guilt of it, but also the getting over the fragility of what feels to be opening up and being vulnerable about this. A lot of things are hanging in the balance right now. You might be on the verge of spreading yourself too thin because of this being a big journey. I think that you are planting a lot of seeds. But the thing is, these are long-term investments. You are not going to see the payoff immediately, in the instant. It's going to cause a lot of effort with faith and not necessarily belief, but I really feel faith. This is going to have a lot of emotions running wild, but the first thing is you actually being open to receiving what seems to be an emotional gift. I really feel an emotional gift is being given to you. And then we have recognition, I think, for the hard work. So once you are open to receiving what seems to be the emotional gift, this could be romantic, it could be platonic, whatever it is, it's completely wrestling your jimmies on this. So I see that you are getting the recognition for your effort in this. I think that you're not seeing immediately, but you see it soon after. And I think it's because you walked away from something in the past, something that was no longer stable that you could live with. And I think that it's something that you have been shut off for a while from. I think that initiated a huge shutdown with you. I think that you had to acknowledge how many dead seeds in your life that you were watering, that you couldn't figure out why it wasn't getting the payoff. If you just take care of something, perhaps it would be resurrected. Spirit is saying that's not the case. And now you're in a phase of learning to let that dead weight in your life go. And I don't think that anyone ever expected you to be able to let this part of your life or this situation go, which I think is why they are kind of keeping tabs. It's not because anybody wants to gossip. Good God, it's not always that people want to gossip. It's a point of making sure that you're going to be okay, because believe it or not, those around you genuinely, very much so, do care about you. Good God. Okay, so I'm being pulled to the wisdom of the oracle. Bottom of the deck is loyal heart. So this is what you're coming to. You are taking a huge leap into what seems to be a very loyal situation in your life. And you're breaking a lot of cycles. You are not repeating these in your life at all. You're not looking at it from a higher perspective. I think that the entire cycle just happens to be done. So you're seeing where the loyalty lies in your life, and then it looks like yang energy. So this is all action oriented and movement. And let's see what else is going to be coming out. All right. Serendipity too. TikTok is in reverse. And then we have message in a bottle. Spirit is screaming in your face. Like, it is screaming in your face. And the sign is so obvious. You cannot go back into old conditions where you have closed yourself off. That's not going to serve you. That's not going to help you breathe again. That's not going to work. You have masculine energy that is coming to the surface right now. What in your life do you have to walk away from? This, it feels like you've been in an emotional coma with this. Man, I wish I could hug you over that. That's emotionally rough. So I feel like you've gone through this huge, I don't even need these cards anymore. Let me see what I got here. I do feel like this has been a huge shift for you. Where do I want to lead the cards with this? So actually, yeah. Yang, mending. So action-oriented movements are actually causing some part of your life to break away from you. And I want you to see this as serendipitous. Huge divine intervention on here. Maybe circumstances in that environment or in that situation, the career, the relationship, what have you, is being forced to break apart, forced to let go. This is a lot of serendipitous signs around this. So I think that you have been seeing a lot of either minor injustices or realizing all the injustices along the way, or all the ways that you have allowed yourself to be hurt in this. And it's feeling like time is running out. You're putting a pressure of time with yourself, because with how blatant the signs have been in your face, you haven't really made these changes. And I think that you've actually been overwhelmed with it, because it's like, it's always harsh with you, isn't it? The signs always have to be really harsh. It's like, I'm not giving you crap, please understand this, but as a mother, I can understand this. So I have a 15 and a 10-year-old, and it's like, honey, can you do this? Not hearing it. Honey, please, I need you to do this. And you repeat yourself, exact same words, 10, 20 times even. And suddenly it's like, listen, I need you. Listen, look, I need you to go do this. And they actually have the audacity to be like, well, why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. So help me God, I'm not yelling. And it's like, it's like building up that auditory deafness until somebody has to break through that veil of yours by almost shouting, or at least raising their voice. And it's so unnerving, because it's like you only get the sign when it's being screamed at in your face, or yelled at, or as a parent raised in a voice. I don't scream at my kids. I don't. Definitely have raised my voice a time or two. It's part of the journey. But anyway, so time for a nap. You want to shut down. I know that you do. I know that you do, but you can't. Spirit's not going to let you. You don't get to shut down anymore. That worked in the past. That's not going to work for how different this is going forward. So let's see. Resilience. I am so tired of hearing that, aren't you? You're so resilient. Stop. Don't you get it? You can be as strong as anything. Resilience is the last thing that you need to hear moving forward. It's time for you to take a balanced action moving forward. So it's not hesitance, it's not impulsiveness, it's all about accepting the change for what it is, and having faith that whatever you are stepping into is worth the change, worth the effort. You're going into extreme changes in your life. I think that's probably why this is so unsettling. If all you know is chaos, to know peace, you are going to ignite the chaos in that. So that is going to be a huge challenge for you. If all you have known is something that is emotionally disconnected, emotional purgatory, and intellectualizing all feelings, because God forbid you feel them. You have no other choice but to step into a phase of your life where you feel everything. And oh my God, is that just not the most overwhelming thing at times. You are going in through a major growth cycle right now. You are going to be growing in ways that you didn't even see inside of yourself or think that was possible, because how could you think it was possible if you've never seen it before? It's the senses that you are unaware of. So this is going to be a huge acknowledgement and embracing and time-consuming thing. And you have resistance because you are going to start to see the change. You are going to start to see the changes inside yourself. You're going to awaken emotions that I don't think that you have felt either ever or for a very long time. And that is going to be nerve-wracking for you. But I want you to push through that resistance, because this is actually necessary in the progressive phase that you are in. When you are feeling that resistance, that means that you are on the brink of major change, and your brain is starting to pick up on that. It's like, hang on, this is new. I'm going to have to be on high alert now. I don't want to be on high alert. It took me forever to get to this place. You want to? No. I'm going to start procrastinating. I'm going to start making excuses. I'm going to start sabotaging this because I can't go through this again. But your higher self is like, the heck you can't. And it kicks you right into it. You don't get the choice to back out of this change that your soul is actually craving. There's free will and then there's divine will. Guess which one wins out? Because you are actually part of that divine will. Your higher faculties, your higher self, your 5D, 4D even. It's going to play out. So, what do you need to embrace? The child eternal is in reverse. The inability to grow up and be responsible. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. Stop depending on people who are going to hurt you, or putting the dependence on similar people who are going to hurt you. This is actually being open up to new people in your life, aside from yourself, who are going to be extremely different, but also who are going to provide a sense of safety and security and independence. There is no codependence that you're walking into, and Spirit's going to be very quick to remind you, which, my dear, puts you in the role of the student. Wouldn't you know it? Humility and devotion to knowledge, open to lifelong learning. This is going to set you up for the rest of your life. Whatever this journey is that you are embarking on right now, this is for life. You cannot go back, you cannot unlearn this, and nor would you want to. But there is a hesitance getting into this new phase because it is going to be long-term. And also it's going to be getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you keep breaking all of your barriers and your old paradigms and boundaries. Constant checking yourself with this. So let's see, what is this? The trickster, transcending conventional stuffiness and predictable behavior. This is going to be an absolute adventure for you. And that makes me think of, you're in the stream, however you are keeping afloat. Maybe the waters are picking up all around you, and you are starting to get uncomfortable because while the waters are getting even more rough and they're starting to break, and you see that white splash come all around you as it starts to settle into the water again, only to be brought up again in one of those breaking splashes. And you're worried that you're going to get caught in the undertow. So you start to panic when before you were just floating on the water, letting it take you where it was going. You were hovering on top of it, trusting that you weren't going to sink in, but you overthink and you overanalyze, and you start to pay attention to all the ways in which the change is building. And then you start to grasp for straws or roots on the side of this riverbed. And then you just start to have the water build up and splash up behind you. And when it wasn't so, I guess, wavy before, no, I'm just going to say it like that. Now it's starting to build up behind you, and it's hitting you, and it feels like it's overwhelming you and washing over you, and maybe you'll start to drown. And Spirit's like, listen, it wasn't like this before. You're freaking out. You're panicking. You're not trusting that we're going to bring you to where you need to go. You're not trusting that we are going to keep you afloat. I need you to have trust. If any other time in your life that you had trust and you fell through, I need you to have this trust right now that let go of the roots that you don't need to hang on to, that are keeping you stuck and that are eventually going to drag you under the water. Let go of the roots, and you finally let go of the roots, and you finally start to embrace all the ways in which the water breaks on you, and then you start to brace yourself a little bit more, not resisting it, but bracing yourself, preparing yourself for it. And then you start to be able to anticipate the waves that are coming, and then you start to float on top of the water again, going with the flow of it, moving fast at times, moving directions at times, but nonetheless, you are moving fast. The environment around you is changing, and then you start to settle into a new place, which was much further down the stream than you thought you could have gone. But had you held on to the roots so far up the stream, you would have never made it this far, and you would have drowned underneath your own fierce and scarcity and lack of faith. So what I'm seeing here is you are going to need to learn when you are starting to hold on too tight and hurting yourself, and when you are just on the brink of this change and need to go with the flow on this. Even when you are fighting to keep your head above water, trust that you will stay above water. I hope that that made sense. Then we have the Poet in reverse. The shadow work of this is turns a lyrical gift to a negative or destructive effect. Are you so afraid of how great something can be that it would turn into something that actually toxifies you? Using power for self, I'm going to say this wrong, aggrandizement. It's not that I can't say the word. It's just when you think about it, it's like trying to say Irish wristwatch. You can't do it. Go ahead, try saying it. You have to really pay attention to the diction. All right, so listen. You're going to have a soapbox. You will. It's just kind of how it goes, especially with what you have done. You're not a con artist. You're not deceptive. You're not lying. And I think that it's necessary because, look, artists came out after. And with all this sense of doubt and sense of maybe I'm just putting this on for show, you kind of need to know that you're not. There's a lot of your story that you need to tell that it will help others along their own path. And it's not a cautionary tale. It's just there's bits of inspiration in what you have to say and speak that is going to help people start to see things out of their own box. You are kind of an igniter like that. So I think that you are going to be telling your story and having it inspire others into their own action. So in following all of this advice, if you pay attention to it, if you learn to let go, we have Archangel Raphael. This is going to be a lot of healing work for you. And I want saints and angels too, so hang on. Saints and angels, what do you want to tell them? A wise decision. Mother, which is about Divine Mother, unconditional love. So this is what you have to look forward to. A sense of wisdom, a sense of unconditional love and protection, and also a real deep look at yourself. And now I want to close this off with what seems to be the Rider-Waite. No, I don't want to do that yet. It's still the Saints and Angels. You know, this is what happens when you try and push through, you know, certain cards of a reading. Retreat. So I think that you are actually going to fall into your emotions. I think that you are going to retreat into them to actually uncover what they genuinely are. And you are going to actually be doing a lot of awakening with this. You and helping others and embracing that in them, and how you get more confident in the story that you tell about yourself is actually going to get you very in tune with your emotions. I see this overwhelm of emotional intelligence and satisfaction coming through. And also it's going to help you with divine purpose in this life. Now I am feeling pulled to this, so thank God. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so don't just listen to messages. You have to act on them and learn that you are adaptable. Anybody can talk anything. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your actions into action. Put the words into action is what I meant to say, but put the actions into actions. Get to it. And then listen, this is not going to happen overnight. This healing that you have to do is going to be excruciatingly slow. And then you get the Star card. You're not out of the painful cycle yet. You are the person who has to understand that you call when the karmic lesson is done. Your awareness is not only your preparation, but also your responsibility. Yeah. Life is trying to give you a cup, but you're still focusing on this karmic situation. So listen, you can acknowledge it. You have the Two of Cups that's being given to you. You have to get over this karmic situation. That's going to take strength. So if you identify as masculine or feminine, the opposing one, not the okay, so if you are divine feminine, masculine's coming in to help you, and if you are masculine, feminine is coming in to help you. And it's going to take strength because you guys are going to be pushing each other's buttons. But I definitely see the Two of Cups coming in to open you up to the cup that life is trying to give you and get you over this karmic situation. And I think that that actually might be something that's happening right now. So this actually might be in your sphere. So the gift came out of nowhere. But you have to discover that the lesson is learned and that you have to call it quits now. Well, not on the Two of Cups, but on the pain that you've held on to from the past. So this has been the Weekend Tarot and Oracle, the weekend insight on life and love for November 27th and 28th, 2021, also being timeless. If you have questions about booking your own private session or the other services I provide, reach out in the provided email address or on social platforms. Just find me and DM me. Ask about services I provide, prices, sales, time zone details, and availability, and we'll work this out. I look forward to meeting you. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and just know that you're greatly loved and appreciated. Bye for now. If you found your way across this, chances are you need a mini message. So, listen with an open heart and an open mind. Let's see what brings you here. This is general collective, so it's not going to make sense to everybody. But in the off chance that it does, or in the hopeful chance that it does, what do you need to know? Yeah, I could always do this off camera, but I never remember, so really it's just become a thing. Okay. This was at the bottom, change. Knowing when to walk away from what seems to be a lack of choice, a lack of options. Sometimes you're not going to have any good options, and you shouldn't make anyone based off of that. You don't have to go with any of those. This is saying hold off, get grounded. Now this might be you walking away from an unhealthy connection in your life, and it's also about grounding work right now. So 5 is around this. It's going to be something where you have to claim your power back. I feel like something or someone has taken your choice, voice, options, etc., so on and so forth. But what I'm seeing here is I feel like you're catching it, but I also feel like you're really standing up for yourself. I don't feel like if this is a connection, it was seeing eye to eye. It actually feels like some sort of tug of war that's going on here. There is what seems to be a disappointment, but I think that that is by the person who is being kind of ushered away. Either that or the past situation that is being ushered away. I love this person. They have their head held high like, what now? What now? It feels almost kind of like F around and find out. But anyways, what I'm seeing here is very protective of yourself, your energy, your boundary. And I think that you're not going to let this escalate. You're not going to let the lack of choice and lack of power overwhelm you. I think that it's just a realization of where you are in the moment and where you maybe have been folding too much to somebody or something in your life. So what I'm seeing here is having that hell no moment. It's kind of funny like that too. And snapping back and remembering who the F you are. I love it. Because you wanna know why? You're getting your voice back. You're getting your power back. You're claiming your throne. Masculine energy, you are the authority. Congrats. Stay safe. Have fun. I hope this made sense because you're total boss. Hey there, gorgeous. If you found your way across this, chances are you need a mini message, but you're not quite open to receiving what seems to be an emotional message from spirit. It is general collective. Listen with an open heart and an open mind. I think that you have cut yourself out of what seems to be an emotional purgatory, or just feeling like you're in limbo. I like this. Okay, so Divine Feminine and Masculine is completely riddled throughout these mini reads. I can't wait to see what the weekend Tarot and Oracle is going to look like. Okay. I feel like you were afraid to speak out, speak your truth, speak up for yourself in a situation. What is this? Yeah, you weren't healed. You couldn't talk. You couldn't open up. You couldn't invest in anything because you weren't healed. I think that you've been alone for a while. I think that you have been closed off. I think that you're really closing off a very painful chapter of your life. And it looks like there's either an awakening, a commitment, a reestablishment of faith coming in. This is very beautiful. I know that it's really hard for you to open up. I think that this is more of a spiteful opening up. I have hair on my face, I swear to God. Maybe it's a beard, maybe it's not. No, it's one of those fuzzy hairs. You know, like going in through the dust. Anyways, I was trying to say I'm growing a beard here, but I'm not. Anyway, back to the reading. Hey. All right, so Divine Feminine is very independent and is not going to hold back anything. She's flying high. I say she, it's androgynous. It doesn't matter. It's represented by the female form right here. There's not a cloud in the sky, so I don't think that you are actually cloudy about anything. I think that you have a pretty clear head about you, and it took you a very long time to get there. I think that the lack of healing has actually built up to a point where you had to be the person who clears the clouds on this. You've been watering a lot of seeds that were not coming to fruition in your life. And I feel like that has been something that has been circling the drain with you. So you have a lot of stresses that you've just kind of let hang on to the wall. And you can cut it loose at any time. You have the tools underneath you, but you wanted to be sure of the movement that you had to do. I don't see you as looking at life through rose-colored glasses. It looks more along the lines of just needing some quiet. And I think that you did use your pain as a shield. And I know that we all do that at some point, but this has been an extenuating circumstance for you. You really needed to just fall apart in a conditioned form, like in a conditioned environment. I think that that is one of the more cathartic releases that you have dealt with. And I think that it was a lack of ability to attach to whatever this fall apart was. I think that there is a point of disassociating from that pain in that moment. It's like you couldn't touch it. If you did, it was a pain that I don't think very many people know how to describe. And you had to, it feels like you had to do this all by yourself. This could be a two-parter, hang on. Hi. So yeah, it looks like there is a new commitment that's coming into play. I don't know what it's towards though, so let's see what is up. Let's see. Wow. Independence, freedom, thriving on your own. That is the commitment. So I think that this is associated with somebody from the past, somebody who had long-term around you. And I think that there is a point which you have been so dependent on these energies, but I think that it was something that was forced on you. Something that you honestly couldn't get away from. And now you are able to get away from that energy. Man, you've freed yourself. Divine Feminine energy has finally freed themselves up from a very toxic situation in their life. Oh. Believe it or not, getting away from whatever toxicity that was I think even in its challenges, in hindsight, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not for years down the road, you're going to see exactly why this rebirth of yours was so necessary and that you're ready to move on. Very heavy energy. Okay, you. So here's what's up. You are through the pain, you have been made stronger, and I think that you've been made so wonderfully whole, and that you are actually embracing this new commitment of being free and holding on to, I think, your independence. It doesn't mean that people are not going to come into your life, but it means that you are not going to be forced to rely on them. It's a choice of having these people in your life, not a necessity. So congratulations. Hey there, love. If you found your way across this, I'm being pulled to the saints and angels. So hold on to your saints and angels. What do you need to know? It's a wise decision is what it is. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. What do you need to know? If you found your beautiful way across this, what is the download? Wise decision. Blessings of abundance. All right. What about it? All right, you. I feel like you're actually starting to step into a point of maybe not necessarily a healthy, because it does say healthy eating, but you're stepping into a more self-serving time of your life, making a move, being very discerning about what you allow around you. You've got to check out this batch of mini reads and also the Weekend Tarot and Oracle for the 27th and the 28th. No, wait, the 27th and the 28th of November 2021. All right, so the wise decision. I really feel like this has been a difficult choice for you to put on yourself about doing what is best for you. I think that you have a very giving nature, and I think that you are constantly giving without any expectation of anything in return. Lo and behold, time and time again, you're left in shambles, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, just completely drained of all your resources. So what I'm seeing here is it's like you finally asked the question, what about what I want? And I think that that's really hard to actually ask ourselves sometimes, because what do we want? In a lot of cases, we want to make a particular person happy. My dearest, unless you are taking care of yourself, unless you are making sure that you are good, whatever stems from you is not going to be okay. There's going to be a reflection of how much you've starved yourself of your resources and needs. So I think that you are actually putting your best foot forward and moving on to, I think, the best self-care for your life, but also what stems from that is going to be its most triumphant as well. It all stems from the epicenter of you. It's not that the world revolves around you. It's that your life, you kind of have to be the protagonist here. So take care of yourself. You're right for doing so. Your life is going to get better because of it in all forms. Hey there, lovely. If you found your way across this, chances are you need a mini message. We're going to be getting a mini message from the magical, mystical fairies. You're so magical. Holiday. Are you going on a vacation? Are you going on a getaway? Something about the holiday season's coming up. Connect with nature. Everything's okay. That's good. Dietary changes and marriage. You have to say it like that. I will say it like that every single time. It says marriage, but I'm always going to say marriage because it is so deeply programmed from the Princess Bride, and I have no interest in changing it. Deal with it. All right, you. There's a big commitment that is happening in your life right now, and I do feel like it is going to be happening either on a holiday or during a holiday vacation. So the commitment, it can involve relationships, marriage. That is always great, but marriage is about commitment. This I'm going with commitment. You have a lot of grounding work that you need to do. You have a lot of things that you need to do in order to take care of yourself. If you have been watching this, chances are you have either been running yourself ragged and you've been feeling very sluggish, but your body is trying to snap you back into your power, which I can greatly appreciate. First off, a lot of the feelings of rigidness and the feelings of wanting to snap at everything, I feel completely normal for what you have been through. And I do feel like you have potentially been snipping at every little thing. Again, completely normal, but we're starting to catch it right now, aren't we? You're okay. The situation's not ruined. In fact, I think that everything's going to be getting better the more that you do this grounding work with yourself. You need to get away from the regular hustle and bustle, the challenges of everyday life. And I get it. Some people have more challenges than you. Some people don't have nearly as many challenges as you. It does not escape yourself from your experience that only you can have. So stop feeling guilty for feeling overwhelmed. Pull back your energy. Go take care of yourself. You are in charge of making these changes in your life, not the other person who has it worse or who has it better, which is it's all subjective. So anyway, start putting yourself first. Start making that commitment to yourself. Take yourself on like a vacation or treat yourself. For some of you, that may be something as simple as going to the corner store and getting your favorite drink, or having a nap. For some of you, book a vacation. It's going to be on the various degrees, but it has to be very specific for you, and it has to be very selfish for you. Take care of yourself in this. Put yourself first. Do it. Do it now. I'm not kidding. Go do it. If you found your way across this, chances are you need a mini message. So listen with an open heart and an open mind. We're going to be getting this from the saints and not the saints and angels. Saints and angels, it's the mermaids and dolphins. I don't know. So let's see. You're being helped. Fabulous. Fabulous. What are you being helped with? Your taxes? Set your sights higher. Yay! And then we have empowerment. Ooh. Break free, explore your options, make a wish. All right. So what I'm seeing here is it looks like you have been forced to be so uncomfortable in the circumstances. See how the injustices are between the people that are involved in this. And I see that you're kind of taking the gloves off, aren't you? So what I love about this is you're saying no more, and that's actually making you feel highly empowered. No more breadcrumbs for you. We're not doing it. And it's not that you're not going to have anything. It's just you're going to be more demanding, and you are going to be holding people accountable. And it's not that you need to feed off of them, but since you are so giving, if that balance is not there, if you are blocking the flow in your life, you're done. So what I'm seeing is you will be breaking free from very unbalanced connections in your life, very one-sided connections, whether it's professional or personal. But also you kind of drew this in because I feel like you've been exasperated. I feel like you have been overwhelmed with this, wondering, why am I not happy? Why is this happening? Why is the other thing happening? Why is any of this happening? So Spirit is like, listen, do you want to have the answer, or do you want to just hear yourself talk with this? And of course, you don't want to just, talk into the abyss. You're actually asking for help from Spirit, and Spirit's like, okay. So I'm going to show you exactly who in your life is being a POS, and we're going to have you actually call them out on that, which is always fun, because that's never uncomfortable. But I do feel like the conversations are happening in here. I feel like this is either having aha moments where the other person is going to be stepping up, or they're gone. Like they are just gone. But also it's going to allow you to feel empowered, like you can actually face even more challenges as an independent, not necessarily through another person. So you are worth so much more, and I think that you are finally seeing it, and now you're going to be stepping into that power because, well, you're enlightened and you're empowered.